Hello, my name is Sheva Carr, and I'm a co-director at HeartMath Healthcare, where we bring 30 years of evidence-based, peer-reviewed research tools and technologies for mitigating the stress response in the case of HeartMath Healthcare to hospitals and those who work in them and are served by them. We teach this in the framework of building resilience in staff and patients. Resilience being defined by HeartMath as the capacity to prepare for, recover from, and adapt in the face of challenge, adversity, or stress. This particular definition of resilience was adopted by the US Navy, as have been the tools and the technologies developed by HeartMath. And of course, in all systems, there comes a point when there is no preparation, no recovery, no adaptation in the face of a challenge, and that system dies. And the COVID-19 pandemic is overwhelming many systems, both human and organizational, in the face of the virus. And so I was asked to create this video by some of our healthcare partners and other NGOs who are handling the bereavement process for families who are dealing with personal losses in COVID-19. And the first thing I want to say to both family members as well as healthcare workers is you have our deep compassion and gratitude for what you are up against from the heart. We're hoping to give you a few small tools and coping skills in this little short video that can help. And one of the reasons we received this request is because uniquely in a viral pandemic environment, the cultural ways that we've learned to cope with death, dying, loss, and illness, the ability to have funeral rites and gatherings or wakes and celebrations of life to honor the dying, as well as to be with them in their dying process or keep mementos of the dead, like their personal jewelry or things that were important to them that were on their person at the time of their death. Those things aren't possible in a pandemic of this sort, where there has to be social distancing. There can't be gatherings such as funerals, where many of us who are losing loved ones are not afforded the opportunity to say goodbye. And it's with enormous compassion from the heart that I'd like to offer how I personally, using the skills that HeartMath has taught me as a clinician, but most importantly as a human being, have dealt with my own losses in these kinds of circumstances, both in active wars where I couldn't say goodbye, as well as in pandemics like COVID. And one of the things that I've turned to for myself in this kind of crisis of loss is to identify the heart qualities of the person that I love deeply that I've lost. For example, in the case of my father, who dedicated his life to research science because he cared deeply about humanity and had a very compassionate, loving heart. Those qualities of generosity, of selflessness, of compassion and humanitarianism, when he died, I chose to take those qualities into myself. So even though I didn't have a chance to say goodbye to him, I chose to embody those qualities in a simple skill called quick coherence that I'm going to do with you now, that has been shown to balance heart rhythm patterns and autonomic nervous system function, changing over 1,400 things in our own physiology to make us more resilient, to enhance our immunity, our cognitive capacity, but above and beyond all the digits and details of the science, that empowered me to continue to feel a connection to my father after his passing in this very difficult manner. And so the steps to this tool, which we encourage healthcare providers to do with the loved ones of family members, as healthcare providers are the ambassadors of the dying process when family members can't be at the bedside for that. To ask family members, what qualities does your loved one have that you most admire? How can we together embody those qualities to keep the spirit of your loved one alive in us, and in that way honor their life in this difficult passage? And so then you would turn your focus of attention to the area around the heart, the chest area, whether you're a caregiver or a family member, and imagine the breath is flowing in through the heart and out through the heart or chest area, a little slower and deeper than the normal respiratory rhythm. If you find it helpful, as some do, you can count to 5 as you breathe in, and you can count to 5 as you breathe out. And with that heart-focused breathing, the invitation is then to breathe those qualities that you loved about this person in through the heart and out through the heart. So I might breathe that generosity of spirit, or compassion and humanitarianism, and dedication to science and research to the benefit of all people that my father was committed to, in through my heart and out through my heart. And when I catch myself being overwhelmed by grief and loss, and I remind myself that I wouldn't grieve what I didn't love. So grief is actually a form of love, but love is beneficial to my own resilience, where grief can deplete me and make me more vulnerable in a crisis time. And so I turn that grief into the love and appreciation for the things I loved about this person, and for the privilege I have to have someone that I loved so much that I'm sad to lose. And as I pivot that grief into the love at its root, I'm building my own resilience, my own responsiveness, my own immunity for that matter, and also honoring the life that's been lost by embodying the qualities of that life and carrying the spark of that spirit forward in me. If you are, or someone you know or love, are dealing with any stress of COVID-19 or this pandemic crisis as a healthcare worker or family member or loved one, and would like more information or free resources to help, please reach out to us at DeStress, that's DESTRESS, at heartmath.com. We're here to help. We thank you. We have enormous compassion for what humanity and each of us as individuals are confronting at this time. Until we meet again, please take good care.